7 Asian countries Trump targets for deportation in 2026.
Today, we're diving deep into the reported immigration enforcement priorities under the Trump administration in its second term. Please note up front that this is not legal advice, and the information here is based on public reports, analyses, and policy discussions as of early 2026. Immigration policies can change rapidly, so always consult official U.S. government sources like the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, or an accredited immigration attorney for your specific situation. We're aiming for a truth-seeking, nonpartisan approach, examining facts, context, and impacts without endorsing any political stance. In 2026, the U.S. immigration landscape is evolving under President Trump's renewed focus on enforcement. Reports indicate a shift toward targeted deportations, emphasizing interior removals, workplace raids, and stricter scrutiny of visa violations, asylum claims, and national security concerns. This isn't just about broad mass deportations as sometimes sensationalized in headlines. It's about prioritizing certain violations and countries based on data like overstay rates, repatriation cooperation, and geopolitical factors. While the administration has ramped up deportations, claiming around 140,000 removals by mid-2025, though independent estimates vary, these efforts reportedly affect diverse communities, including Asian immigrants who make up a significant portion of both legal and undocumented populations in the U.S. Today, we'll focus on 7 Asian countries highlighted in recent discussions as facing heightened enforcement for deportations. These include Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, Cambodia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and China, ranked here from least to most targeted based on reported intensity. So Bangladesh is number 7, down to China as number 1. We'll explore historical context, detailed breakdowns for each country, the broader deportation framework, potential impacts on families and economies, future predictions, and simulated Q&A based on common concerns. This guide is designed to inform and empower whether you're an immigrant, advocate, or just curious about global migration trends. Historical context of U.S. deportation policies. To understand 2020 SIXS developments, we need to look back. U.S. deportation policies have roots in the early 20th century, with laws like the 1924 Immigration Act setting quotas that favored certain nationalities. Post-World War II, the 1952 Immigration and Nationality Act formalized removal processes. But mass deportations gained prominence in the 1990s with operations like Operation Gatekeeper under Clinton, which focused on border security. The post-9/11 era under Bush introduced the Department of Homeland Security in 2003, merging agencies like ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement to handle interior enforcement. During Trump's first term, 2017 to 2021, deportations averaged around 250,000 annually, lower than Obama's peak of over 400,000, but marked by policies like the Muslim ban, Executive Order 13769, which restricted travel from several majority Muslim countries, including Asian nations like Iran and Syria. This ban evolved into Proclamation 9645, affecting Iran, Libya, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, Yemen, and Somalia, impacting Asian immigrants indirectly through heightened vetting. However, undocumented Asians, estimated 1.7 million, often enter legally and overstay, differing from border-focused Latin American migration. High overstay rates from countries like India, over 20% for some visas, draw scrutiny. Geopolitics plays a role. Tensions with China fuel espionage fears, while instability in Afghanistan and Myanmar complicates humanitarian claims. This context sets the stage for 2020 SIXS targeted approach, where enforcement data, not ethnicity, purportedly drives priorities, but critics argue it disproportionately affects certain groups. Explaining the deportation framework in 2026. Deportation or removal is the process of expelling non-citizens who violate immigration laws. Key triggers include visa overstays, staying beyond authorized time, unauthorized employment, working without permission, criminal convictions, even misdemeanors, denied asylum, or fraudulent documents. In 2026, the administration is accelerating this through expanded ICE operations, more agents hiring 10,000 plus, workplace raids, and no-knock entries in some cases, national security vetting, using AI and databases to flag risks, especially for dual-use tech fields, repatriation agreements, deals with countries to accept deportees faster, sometimes involving third-country transfers, e.g., to Costa Rica or El Salvador. Ending protections, revoking TPS for groups like Burmese, Myanmar immigrants affecting thousands, legal changes, proposals to limit birthright citizenship appeals and family-based visas, slashing legal immigration by 33 to 50% per some analyses. Not all immigrants from these countries are at risk. U.S. citizens, green card holders, and valid visa holders are generally protected. But long-term undocumented residents or those with lapse status face higher odds. Statistics: ICE arrests of Asians tripled in 2025 per reports, though overall deportations include border turnaways. Critics highlight due process issues, family separations, and economic costs. Deportations estimated at $10,000 plus per person. Proponents argue it upholds rule of law and DITA's violations. Country-by-country breakdowns. Now let's detail the 7 countries, starting with the least targeted, Bangladesh as number 7, and building to the most, China as number 1. For each, we'll cover why they're reportedly prioritized, key violation types, affected populations, and real-world examples drawn from reports. Number 7, Bangladesh. Bangladesh, with a population of over 170 million and strong economic ties to the U.S., sends many on temporary visas. Reported targeting stems from high visa overstay rates, around 15 to 20% for B1/B2 tourist visas, per State Department data. Reasons include economic opportunities in the U.S., e.g., jobs in construction or retail, amid Bangladesh's challenges like climate displacement and poverty. Unauthorized employment is common, with Bangladeshis often in low-wage sectors. Document irregularities, such as questionable sponsorships or inaccurate applications, trigger scrutiny. Family-based violations, like sham marriages for green cards, add risk. Impacts: about 50,000 undocumented Bangladeshis in the U.S. Deportations could disrupt remittances. Bangladesh receives $20+ billion annually from abroad. Example: a 2025 IC raid in New York targeted a restaurant chain employing overstay workers from Bangladesh, leading to 20 removals. Number 6, Nepal. Nepal's mountainous terrain and post-earthquake recovery drive migration. Enforcement focus arises from misuse of temporary visas. Many enter on student or tourist status, but overstay due to job prospects or agent misinformation. Exploitation networks promise false jobs or asylum, leading to violations. Unauthorized work in food service or cleaning exposes them during audits. Document challenges from Nepal's limited infrastructure, e.g., inconsistent birth records, raise red flags. Political instability, like monarchy transitions, complicates asylum claims. Affected, roughly 30,000 undocumented Nepalis. Heightened since 2025, TPS extensions were limited. Impacts: family separations hit hard, as many support relatives back home. Example: a Nepali student in California overstayed after graduation, worked off books, and faced deportation after a traffic stop revealed status issues. Number 5, Myanmar, Burma. Myanmar's ongoing civil unrest since the 2021 coup fuels refugee flows. But 2026 sees ended TPS for nearly 4,000 Burmese in the U.S., blocked temporarily by a federal judge but under appeal. Targeting involves denied asylum, tightened criteria for persecution proof, and visa overstays. Political limbo hinders repatriation, but cooperation improves, enabling removals. Background vetting fails due to destroyed records amid conflict. Unauthorized work adds layers. Affected over 100,000 Burmese Americans, many resettled refugees who didn't naturalize. Impacts: humanitarian concerns rise, with deportees facing danger. U.S. communities lose contributors in healthcare. Example: a Burmese activist's asylum denial in 2025 led to detention, sparking protests. Number 4, Cambodia. Cambodia's history with U.S. refugees post-Khmer Rouge means many long-term residents. Focus on criminal deportations, even old offenses, targets non-citizens. Improved repatriation deals speed processes. Visa violations and unauthorized employment persist. Gang associations, historical, not current, trigger scrutiny. Affected, about 20,000 at risk. Many arrived as kids but face removal. Impacts: family disruptions as U.S.-born children stay while parents go. Economic: Cambodia relies on diaspora support. Example: a 2026 raid in Long Beach, California, large Cambodian community. Deported 15 with minor records. Number 3, Pakistan. Pakistan's U.S. diaspora thrives in tech and medicine, but undocumented face national security screens treating South Asian backgrounds as risks. Inconsistencies in travel history or documents lead to denials. Visa overstays on student/tourist visas are enforced strictly. Unauthorized work in retail/delivery is common. Family fraud, e.g. false sponsorships, compounds issues. Affected: estimated 100,000 undocumented. Post 9/11 scrutiny lingers. Impacts: stigma affects legal immigrants. Remittances $30+ billion to Pakistan drop. Example: a Pakistani engineer overstayed an H-1B, switched jobs illegally, and was deported after an audit. Number 2, Afghanistan. Post-2021 U.S. withdrawal. Many Afghans fled via special visas, but 2026 sees denied asylums under narrowed standards. Temporary protections expire, leading to removals. Security vetting flags unresolved ties, e.g., to former government. Visa overstays and unauthorized work are targeted. Instability prompts third country transfers. Affected: over 100,000 Afghans resettled. Thousands in limbo. Impacts: betrayal felt by U.S. allies. Deportees risk Taliban reprisals. Example: an Afghan interpreter's parole expired, leading to 2026 deportation proceedings. Number 1, China. As the top target, China faces geopolitical scrutiny amid U.S.-China tensions. Enforcement hits espionage fears in tech/academia. Visa overstays, student/professional, are prioritized. Unauthorized work and services or businesses faces raids. Fraud, e.g. birth tourism, fake asylum, influences policy. Affected: 300,000 plus undocumented Chinese. Legal cut/H-1Bs, impacts, chills innovation, family split, economy strained. Example: 2025 campus raids deported Chinese students suspected of IP theft. Broader impacts on communities and economies. These policies ripple globally. Families face separations. U.S.-born kids lose parents, leading to foster care burdens. Economies. Deportations cost the U.S. $315 billion in lost GDP per some studies. Origin countries lose remittances. Asian American communities report increased fear, with AAPI hate incidents up. Human rights groups decry due process lapses. Positively, proponents say Adidas' illegal entry and protects jobs. Future predictions and policy shifts. By mid-2026, expect more raids if funding passes. Court challenges, e.g. on TPS, could slow things. Long-term, immigration reform might add visas, but gridlock persists. Global tensions could expand bans. Question: am I at risk if from one of these countries? Answer: depends on status. Valid visas protect. Overstays don't. Seek legal help. Question: how to avoid deportation? Answer: comply with visas. Naturalize if eligible. Avoid fraud. Question: impacts on legal immigration? Answer: cuts by 33 to 50% projected, affecting family chains. Thank you for joining. Stay informed via dhs.gov. Share thoughts below. Knowledge is power in uncertain times.